Welcome again, everyone, to TNS Radio Ireland. You're listening to Mike Montagne, original 1968 architect of mathematically perfected economy, speaking on mathematically perfected economy and absolute consensual representation. Archives of this program can be downloaded freely at tnsradio.com from the category Mike Montagne and from the domain perfectedeconomy.org. Original material, analyses, and solution, as always, are copyright and trademarked by yours truly, Mike Montagne. All rights and therefore claims of authority are reserved. Copies of this program can be downloaded and distributed freely only so long as the entirety of this program, including this copyright and trademark notice, remain intact. Good evening and good to have you with us. I was asked a while ago by Sovereign Gary to stand in tonight. Rather short notice, but I think I have some interesting things to share. Today, just a while ago, I had a discussion with a fellow named Michael Tellinger of South Africa. Ray Moore had asked me to connect with Michael on an issue. He's attempting to challenge the nature of the currency and in Supreme Court of South Africa. He's using only a fraction of our arguments. That is, what's going on here, and I thank Ray greatly for connecting us with Michael, because it's important that none of these cases fall through the cracks, so to speak, as I said to Michael earlier. We want people not to go to court half-cocked, half-armed, and thus unprepared to prevail. In part because this would be, ultimately it would be an offense against the rest of us. Because when in court an issue is tried, this sets a precedent by which further issues or cases of the same trial, or perhaps little differing trial, may not be understood to differ in critical ways. So to use only part of the arguments which had existed before jeopardizes the case, and the great danger of that is that it establishes a precedent by which further cases are denied. So we can't go into court or to the banks or even to our own law enforcement agencies and district attorneys and so forth as effective crackpots. And that's a tremendously important issue for all of us to get under our belts. Because if we go out and claim that we're victims of a Ponzi scheme, or demonstrate by any nuance of our behavior or mastery of the issues at hand that we don't have prevailing arguments, this jeopardizes the rest of us. So I'm filling in for the now vacant slot of Daryl O'Day, and I welcome all his listeners. And I don't know what to say about Daryl. I actually never got to have a discussion with him. When he first heard of my work, he wanted to debate me, and then of course I agreed to do so, but we never had a debate. In fact, I wrote Daryl about a couple of fine points, and I never received any answers from him. I know Daryl was, he's said to have been angry. I'd like to say, first of all, about that I fully understand anger. Uh, he's had lost some people, and this rightly makes us angry. Our, our discontent is righteous against the crimes against us. But the issue is that we have to understand what these crimes are, how they manifest. It's not enough for us to say, well, I've been dispossessed of my home. I feel like killing myself now. My wife feels like killing herself, Tomorrow she walks in front of a train with your two children. These things are happening all over the world. But the way to stop them isn't to advocate that some simplification or failure to perceive the offenses against us will be effectual arguments. What we really need to get our brains around is that indeed the crime is relatively simple. We have to understand that bankers are not true creditors, that they never give up lawful consideration, and this is an importance of this Freedom of Information Act inquiry that we have ongoing with the Bank of England. And I might mention on the side that Mark Giles has made several calls to the Bank of England for the manager, Mr. Jordan, to have a meeting with him, and these calls have gone unanswered. Mark will continue to call. But the state of evolution of this inevitable conflict with the Bank of England and all other banks, and of course I've already exercised this issue against banks before, the importance of it is that this is a proof that the banks have no argument against us. If they gave up no lawful consideration, there is no way in the rational world for them to rightly claim a debt to the banking system. So it's incredibly important for us to not just say, oh, well, we should be able to write off our debts to the banks. And indeed, that debt we can write off, which is more or less what I understand Darrell was advocating. But he was advocating that, evidently, as far as I can tell from all that I've heard. He was advocating that without the reasons, without understanding that this was an obfuscation of the currency. And the danger of that, again, is that we need, all of us, to understand this so that we can declare exactly what the crime against us is. Because if we simply were to advocate writing off our debts, what's the cause? What is the object of doing this? What is the argument which is going to prevail in court? Well, the laws that exist protect the banking system. They are against us. And what we have to understand is that it's irrefutable arguments which invalidate the laws which are going to be applied against us, which is critical to all of us prevailing in this issue. And this is why this mandate that I've authored is so important, and which is so important for us to get online as soon as possible. That's all getting ironed out slowly but surely. I apologize for the delay. So, in any case, what I'd like to do this evening is I would like to replay this discussion which I've just had with Michael Tillinger, because it, in fact, revolves around the very same issue. I've been asked, Ray Moore connected Michael and myself, because this is a very important world case in court. And Ray was certain that my arguments would not just reinforce, but they would round out the rest of the picture, which is actually a rather large rest of the picture, which would endow this court trial with irrefutable arguments for singular solution. You'll see in the end of the discussion that we have a disagreement about the purported offenses of money itself. We will have to have further discussions about that. But in any case, without further ado, I'd like to first replay this discussion which I've just had moments ago, and then I would like, if anyone wants to take questions, you can Skype me at PFMPE 2012. That's PFMPE 2012, stands for People for Mathematically Perfected Economy. I'll first replay this discussion I've just had with Michael Tellinger in South Africa. Then I'll continue for some making some commentary about it afterward. I'll take calls if I have any after that. If I don't have any calls on short notice here, I'll just continue with commentary and close the show. You'll have to add me to your Skype contacts, PFMPE 2012. So without further ado, this was the discussion I just had with South Africa.
Hello, Mike.
Michael, how you doing?
Excellent. Nice to hear your voice.
Yours as well. Ray's brought me up to speed on your case, given me some background material. I think I can help you a lot. You might be at a critical juncture that you might